Live from WFSB, Connecticut's #1 local news, this is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 7.
It's 7 o'clock in this Friday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Nicole Nalepa. UConn released a new report on the economic outlook for our state, and it looks bleak. It predicts, even in the best case scenario, that Connecticut's recovery from COVID-19 will be long and difficult. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Caitlin Nicole spent the morning reading through this report and is making sense of it for you this morning.
Much like the entire country, Connecticut is facing huge financial challenges during this COVID-19 pandemic. The Connecticut Center for Economic Analysis at UConn just took an in-depth look at that. The 19-page study says it's become clear that the national recovery has slowed dramatically from the anticipated snapback of late spring and summer. And Connecticut is no exception. They say forecasts from leading financial firms like JP Morgan, Moody's, and Goldman Sachs have all scaled back their growth forecasts. And as infection rates continue to surge in many states, the economy continues to be bruised. UConn professor Fred Carstensen says Connecticut was already in trouble before COVID-19. In February of 2020, the economy was about 6% smaller and 17,000 jobs short of where it was at its previous peak.
And then the pandemic comes along. And because, in fact, over the last 10 years, we had seen a lot of our job growth in tourism and hospitality. Those were the areas that were particularly hard hit. So we lost almost 300,000 jobs in 2 months when the pandemic shutdowns hit March and April.
Caitlin Nicole, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, thanks, Caitlin. Breaking overnight and some new information to pass along to you. Police are telling us now that a 33-year-old woman is under arrest after crashing into a police cruiser right on 84 eastbound in Waterbury. Sarah Delian from Prospect is accused of driving drunk and driving in the wrong direction right by exit 23 around 11 last night. Police say when they tried to stop her car, she crashed head-on into a trooper's cruiser. That trooper was taken to the hospital and is expected to recover. Delian was released on bond and is due in court next month.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Happy Friday, October 23rd. We're going to take you out and show you your drive this morning. Not too bad. Most of the roads are dry. You can encounter a sprinkle out there, and we have mostly cloudy skies and a little bit of fog in parts of northeast and southeast Connecticut. I'll get to that in just a second. You might encounter a little bit of drizzle down along the shoreline this morning. I'm seeing it on our old Saybrook iCam, but in terms of organized rain, there's nothing out there on our Doppler. All right, 1 mile of visibility in Chester, northeast and southeast Connecticut, a little rough out there. Also northwest, 4 miles of visibility in Waterbury and in Danbury, so just take it nice and easy out there. The temperatures way above average. 39 is the typical overnight low. We're at 65 right now at Bradley and at Brainerd, 65 in New Haven and in Bridgeport. I mean, these numbers are just unbelievably mild. If I were to show you this as today's daytime highs, they would still be above average. The normal daytime high for this time of year is 61, but 39 is the number you should be seeing on this map. Take a look at our 24-hour temperature change. Pretty flat. We're about 4 degrees better than where we were yesterday at Bradley, 4 degrees shy of where we were yesterday in Putnam, so pretty flat. And we are off and running with very light winds out there along the shoreline, 5 to 7 to 8 miles an hour sustained, but not a big deal. It's a little gloomy out there, right? We're waiting for the sun to come up. It's just a little after 7 o'clock, about let's say about 10, 15 minutes from now. And hopefully that's going to burn off some of the fog that we've got out there for you. Stores looking a little dreary out there this morning as well. It's damp, it's humid. New Haven, you've got better visibility in downtown, at least anyway. There's a little fog in the distance. Satellite and radar confirms. If you look into the right-hand portion of your screen, you'll see the clear skies out over the open waters of the Atlantic. That's not the case here in Connecticut. We've got these low-level clouds with a frontal boundary to our north and west. Now, that frontal boundary means business. It is going to drop those temperatures for Sunday. Saturday night and Sunday, those temperatures are going to be dropping. You can see Hurricane Epsilon to the east of your screen. That's not going to have an impact on us. It just passed Bermuda. Didn't have too much of an impact on them, thank goodness. You can keep a good thought for them, but they look like they bypassed the storm. That frontal boundary you see draped up over Illinois, headed into Indiana and Ohio. It'll be here by tomorrow afternoon. Now, FUTURECAST, I think it's a little overplayed in terms of the precipitation and the cloud coverage. I'm expecting partial clearing by later on this afternoon, so that's some good news. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy. Tomorrow, a mixture of clouds and sunshine with a chance for a scattered shower in the afternoon. There it is at 1 o'clock. That's the front going by, and then we're clear for Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, and Sunday. And the temperature drops. Highs today in the upper 60s and low 70s. And then your 7-day forecast includes 72 tomorrow, mild, but much cooler on Sunday. And then several chances for rain beginning next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. All right, that's a check of your early morning forecast. Nicole, back to you.
All right, so we need our jackets for Sunday. Got it. Eyewitness News is your election authority, and we are just about a week and a half away from the presidential election. Last night, the candidates faced off in their final debate. It was a more traditional back and forth between President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden. The interruptions were far less, but the intensity and the animosity remained pretty high. Channel 3's Mark Robbins highlights some of the biggest takeaways from the evening.
They tackled all the hot topics, from the coronavirus to racial inequality to foreign electoral interference. The coronavirus was the kickoff topic, and with each candidate's opinion being more than socially distanced apart.
We're learning to live with it.
People are learning to die with it. Anyone who's responsible for that many deaths should not remain as President of the United States of America.
We closed up the greatest economy in the world in order to fight this horrible disease that came from China.
Racial disparity, an issue in which many believe should bring our citizens together, is something else these two gentlemen on stage couldn't agree on a common ground.
The exception of Abraham Lincoln, nobody has done what I've done. Criminal justice reform, Obama and Joe didn't do it.
Abraham Lincoln here is one of the most racist presidents we've had in modern history.
Mark Robbins, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Moving on now to the latest on the coronavirus in Connecticut. There are now 19 cities and towns in our state considered red alert towns after a jump in their daily rate of new COVID-19 infections. Many are located in southeastern Connecticut, and these communities have the option of rolling back the state's third phase of reopening. Connecticut's positivity rate remains above 2% this morning. More than 500 people just tested positive for the virus. 232 people are in the hospital, and 2 more people have died. The virus spread is, of course, impacting schools across the state, and we're learning this morning that in Montville, all schools in town are closed for in-person learning for the next 2 weeks. Montville has seen coronavirus cases at 2 elementary schools, the high school, and the Palmer building. While families say shifting to online learning isn't a surprise, it does present some challenges.
We're gonna be home for the next 2 weeks doing the laptop stuff, and half time that doesn't work. I mean, we've had problems in the past with the laptops, the password's not working.
The school superintendent says students should not participate in sports or trick or treat at this time. Schools are set to reopen there November 9th. Windsor Locks Middle School students will be learning remotely through November 4th. The building was dismissed early yesterday after learning 2 people there tested positive for the virus. One was last in school October 16th and the other just this past Wednesday. So anyone who had close contact with those 2 will be notified. And some big developments this morning. The FDA has approved remdesivir, an antiviral drug for the treatment of the coronavirus. The drug was one of the experimental emergency use only treatments that President Trump received when he was infected with the virus this month. Remdesivir is now the first and only approved coronavirus treatment here in the U.S. Those are some of your top headlines on this Friday. We made it. Thank you so much for tuning into Eyewitness News this morning. Remember, you can get news and weather updates anytime on the Channel 3 app. Have a great day and a great weekend.